Chelsea open Werner talks, Liverpool plans Zaniolo deal, Havertz first bid rejected, a transfer roundup, and today's Friday feels all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich. You are the Onefootballers and this is the Daily News. So first off, in a rather odd move, and apparently Chelsea have agreed to pay the release clause for Timo Werner, around £54 million, and are currently discussing with the RB Leipzig forward about a potential move to Stamford Bridge. This kind of goes against everything we've been reading and seeing in the media, and honestly I can only go and applaud Chelsea. So whilst Liverpool and a few others are saying it's not quite worth it, I'm going to wait till this minimum fee release clause expires in the next few days, Chelsea are like, screw it. We'll pay. We've got the money. COVID obviously isn't impacting them too much. They've stumped up the money. They've walked straight through the door, and now they can talk to Timo Werner and potentially bring in one of the hottest young strikers in Europe. Will he actually fit into the Chelsea team? Well, this is the other side of the deal. Personally, I'm not so sure whether or not he'd fit in at Chelsea as much as he would at Liverpool, being one of those wide forwards that directly attacks the box in behind with great amount of pace. But having said that, he's still a quality player. Like, if he's providing competition to Tammy Abraham, that's going to be a sink or swim moment for both of them. And find out whichever one's better. And whichever one is better and in the starting lineup, it's good news for Chelsea. If he's to play out wide and you've got Werner and Abraham in the same team, that's good, but I'm not so sure whether Werner is maybe so adept at being an actual wide player. He's just a forward who drifts out to a wide position. But at the end of the day, they're going to have a quality striker. Their rivals aren't going to have him. They're going to have him available, and I think Timo Werner is going to get even better, especially in a young, quick attacking side like Chelsea are. As I said before, it really is actually quite impressive that Chelsea have not only managed to get this deal done, but also Hakim Ziyech as well earlier in the year. These are two great players who are definitely going to help Chelsea maybe even challenge for the title next season. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but they just might end up doing that. It really goes to show that there still is a good deal to be done, and even when money is a little bit tight, Chelsea have really shown, good balls by just going in, paying the money, and really putting themselves out there in the transfer market. So if Liverpool missed out on Timo Werner, then apparently they're still going to be looking at a deal for Zaniolo. So along with the same theme that Liverpool don't want to spend too much money, it looks like they might throw in Dejan Lovren as a bit of a make-weight. Now apparently the Croatian defender wanted to leave Liverpool last summer after winning the Champions League, but was convinced to stay by Jurgen Klopp because Liverpool really needed him. So even though he is unhappy, he's still at the club, but it definitely looks like he will be leaving. With his contract expiring next summer, Liverpool could use his value to good, and that is in the deal for Zaniolo. So apparently the 20-year-old Italian is worth around 50 to 60 million pounds. Of course, if they're not paying that for Werner because it's too much, they're probably not going to pay it for anyone. They're definitely not going to pay it for 20-year-old Zaniolo. So instead, they're going to decrease it somewhat by throwing in Lovren as well. This actually kind of suits Roma. The losing Zaniolo part definitely doesn't suit Roma. Like losing someone who looks like he's got the potential to be one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe at the age of 20 does not suit them. But Chris Smalling is on loan. I'm not quite sure whether they'll stump up all the money to pay Manchester United to make his deal permanent. So getting Dejan Lovren in to cover that hole in central defence is actually quite a good deal for them. So next up, and according to reports in Germany, Real Madrid have made the first bid for Kai Havertz this summer. That is around £80 million, which was swiftly rejected by Bayer Leverkusen. Now at the moment, they do have more important things to worry about, not least the game against Bayern Munich this weekend, but also the fact that they're trying to finish the end of the Bundesliga season in the Champions League places. So are they going to sell one of their star men for 80 million? No, they're only going to sell them for over 100 million. That is what the sporting director at Bayer Leverkusen has said, and in all honesty, if they're going to survive through Corona, which it looks like they probably will do, there's no real need for them to sell any of their top stars. There have been so many reports that Havertz is going elsewhere. Liverpool again. They seem to be linked with everybody. Manchester United, apparently he's open to a move to them. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. But to me, it looks like Havertz probably will be staying for another year. Whether or not that's part of the Real Madrid deal, we don't quite know. There were conflicting reports saying that they bid 80 million, but he'd stay at Leverkusen for another season and then join Zinedine Zidane's side in 2021. That to me sounds like a better deal. That's what I think they should have done with Luka Jovic all along. Instead of spending like 60 million and just bringing him in to sit on the bench, you might as well let these young players play football. Anyway, I'm not in charge of Real Madrid, so I don't make the rules. So next up, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Gareth Bale will be staying at Real Madrid and could potentially finish his career there. That, according to his agent. Chelsea's Pedro has reportedly agreed a 2-year deal to join Roma. Arsenal are apparently willing to sell Scottish defender Kieran Tierney to Leicester should Ben Chilwell leave the Midlands club. And lastly but not least, Premier League teams will be allowed to use 5 substitutes and name 9 substitutes when the Premier League returns in a few weeks. So finally we come to this week's Friday Feels. This is where you guys leave your footballing predictions in the comments section below and we read out a few of the correct ones on Monday. So big weekend of Bundesliga action and a little bit of football elsewhere as well. So first off, I'm going to go with that big game that I mentioned earlier between Leverkusen and Bayern Munich to finish in a 1-1 draw. Secondly, I think Hertha Berlin are going to, unfortunately, their fine form is going to come to a little bit of an end with defeat to Dortmund, and it's going to get even worse for Berlin sides, as I think in the battle of the 2 worst teams since the restart, Union Berlin are going to lose at home to Schalke. So there you have it. That is all from me for today. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and all of your Friday feels, of course. Whilst you're at it, also smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.